Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, there is a video that is being shared online whereby Stephen Kalonzo is trying to reveal the deep secret on Kenya-Sudan fallout. And that video is explaining how the Kenyan embassy in Sudan was ransacked, how the Kenyan ambassador to Sudan suffered. He really escaped death using a tuk-tuk. If you listen to that, so then you wonder really, how is the relation between Kenyan government and the Sudan government? Of course, Kalonzo is speaking in capacity where he used to, because Uhuru at one point assigned him to lead the peacekeeping mission in South Sudan and Sudan at large. So in that capacity, there is a lot Kalonzo Musyoka understand between these two countries. So imagine a Kenyan ambassador who really represent Kenya to another country, that's Sudan, going through that kind of treatment whereby people raid home, traumatized, they want to kill you, then you escape. But up to now, no any statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Mudavadi has said nothing. So the loud silence in that ministry explains a lot. William Ruto, as the president, is yet to say anything as far as this is concerned, but they are well aware of what our ambassador has gone through in Sudan. They are silent. So this is what is forcing Kalonzo Musyoka to come out and speak about this matter.
I tried to call ambassador in Khartoum, and I didn't get him because obviously I've been following developments in that country, a member country of IGAD, and we all know that Sudan, and particularly Khartoum, has been devastated because of the conflict between General Boran and General Meti. And General Meti was received the other day here in Nairobi, and to my shock, I caught up with General Mukala, who has been ambassador in Khartoum, and what he explained to me shocked me because of two things. First, the gravity of what he went through as ambassador, Kenya's ambassador to Sudan, and secondly, the amazing silence from the Minister of Foreign Affairs, or indeed the Kenya Kwanza government, that our whole embassy, the residence of our ambassador in Khartoum, was ransacked. Ambassador was almost killed. He escaped by tuk-tuk, by whatever means, across into Ethiopia and flew back home. Nobody seems to even know what was happening. Everything seems to have lost everything. So when I called him from Juba, he was in a very, very difficult mood. I think he needed counseling. And we would have expected, particularly when Hemeti, because these are Hemeti soldiers who ransacked our embassy in Khartoum, a residence of the ambassador in Khartoum. We expected to hear a statement from Ruto and in the meeting he had with Hemeti on why that had to happen. So this is a shocking thing, and I wanted to ask the ministry, if the ministry is afraid to speak, then the committee in parliament in charge of foreign relations and defense should summon Mudavadi to come and explain what happened and who is going to have to deal with that devastating situation in our embassy in Khartoum. And the perpetrators are known, because what is actually happening right now is General Boran is operating from Port Said, and Hemeti soldiers have taken over Khartoum. But we want to know, how can, in contravention of all the known international diplomatic norms based on the Vienna Convention, how an embassy of a friendly country can be ransacked and run over? So we expect a very clear statement. Personally, I do expect a very unequivocal, clear statement on what happened to General Mukala and the members of staff in our embassy in Khartoum.
So he's currently...
I think he was seeking counseling. I spoke to him on phone. Everything was taken away. He had to get a new set of phones. But he was able to explain to me how he escaped. First of all, he was engaged and traumatized, and the embassy car, complete with the Kenyan flag, was driven away by the thugs. Something.
The magnitude, how big it was.
Yeah.
So, and you say the soldiers are affiliated to a general who came to see the president?
Yeah. They are. These are called RS whatever, Rapid Reserve Unit. This is a unit that was started by General President al-Bashir that time, and General Emeti. And of course, they were quarreling over when to hand over to civilian rule. That's when the whole thing started. And that country is literally in shambles. So as IGAD countries try to ask for peace, negotiate, we expect also that, of course, Kenya is not seen to be a neutral player. Mm-hmm. This is a fact. Kenya is not seen as a neutral player.
Now, we want to go deeper to understand why is it that the relationship between Ruto's administration and the Sudan administration is deteriorating, and what is really leading to all this. But before we go deeper into that, just a quick request for those who are watching and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. Now, if we are not careful in this country, going by the manner in which the Kenya Kwanza administration is operating, Kenya might, at the end of Ruto's 5 years, be isolated maybe as an island. Our neighbors will see us as enemies, and that enmity is being created by Ruto's administration. Look on the issue of now Kenya, Uganda, losing business, all that. You go to Kenya, Tanzania, all that drama. Then you come to South Sudan, then you go to Sudan and other countries. No, not long ago, Ruto received the South Sudan Parliamentary Rapid Support, RSF, General Mohammed Hadam Dogalo at State House in Nairobi. And this is a leader who was designated as terrorist in Sudan. So there is a disagreement. This one is leading this force, the other one is leading another different force. Then you chose to receive such kind of a leader when they really do not agree separately. What was the meaning of that? To some extent, I know the leadership in Sudan might have been angered with all this. So instead of uniting, you try to divide. When you meet a section which does not agree with the current administration, what message was he sending out?
My good brother. Welcome to your other home. Thank you very much. Again, welcome to Nairobi.
Kimbia.
He's also very happy for that section. Yes. So I'm very happy to receive you again in Nairobi. I know this is not the first time.
So if you look at that meeting and what the Kenyan ambassador has gone through in Sudan, the kind of treatment, the embassy being ransacked, individuals haunting his life, it tells you then this problem was created by William Ruto, his administration. Sijui ofisi ya Mudavadi inafanya kazi gani, and what kind of advice are they giving to Ruto administration. But then kulikuwa na Alfred Mutua. There was issues to do with the Morocco. When they recognize a country there, they have issue with, again, they recant their statement on the same. I think RSS, something like that. So there have been consistent blunder when it comes to the foreign relation between Kenya and other countries. So how safe are Kenyans living in Sudan? There's a huge problem. So there will be a targeted group of military, paramilitary, that is going to view Kenyans in Sudan as their common enemy. Because of the division that Ruto brought in by meeting one of this leader. So you meet this one separately, and all you are discussing seemingly, it is not all about bringing peace. So to some extent, there can be a possibility that Ruto is being used by the West to cause havoc, division in Sudan, so that they can achieve their plan in that country. And most of these people from the West hawana nia nzuri kwa nchi za Afrika. Their main target is on how they can run away with our own resources. So keep us in a busy fight. Division. We ban our own country as you run away with our wealth. So you find that someone like Ruto might be a man who is being used to catalyze for that move so that they can get what they want easily. Kabla mgundue mali yenu yote imesafirishwa. So we are seeing a mountain of problem that will cause Kenya to lose a lot. That will make Kenya to be viewed as an enemy by other nations, especially African countries. We might be isolated, courtesy of Ruto's administration. So where are we heading to? Imagine if that is an ambassador being treated like that. What about, mere Kenyans who are doing their business in Sudan? How safe are they? We know there are many stories how Kenyans are suffering there. Wengine wanajaribu tu kurudi huku wanapata ni shida kubwa kurudi. Huge problem. But the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, under the office of Ruto Mudavadi, there is a lot of loud silence. What's the meaning of that? Do they care about Kenyans? What do they want to govern if Kenyans will suffer in another country? Who will secure? Who will assure them of their security? And who is supposed to safeguard them? What is the work of this administration? In serikali nasema kwamba tunatafutia Wakenya kazi huko nje. But what about their well-being? How safe are they in those countries? When our own ambassador can go through such kind of treatment and the Minister of Foreign Affairs is silent, Ruto's administration is silent, it's like they don't care. Ama ni kwa sababu labda the ambassador ametoka in a tribe that they don't favor. Sababu hii ni serikali ambayo imeonyesha ile hali ya tribalism too much. So angekuwa labda anatoka in a tribe that they are favoring, then they will be speaking about it, they will be protecting him. Or what can happen? So we see an administration that is causing war with the neighbors with no good reason. So for all this, I think it's so much embarrassing, it's shameful, and this government must be called out. They must make sure that they are creating good relation with our neighbors, but not destroying the existing one. Because no one should view Kenyans who are working outside the country as enemy. But Ruto is trying to create that kind of mountain. It might not be good for Kenyans who are investing in other countries. Ukienda hapa Tanzania, Kenyans have invested a lot. Go to Uganda and elsewhere. You would see them, they're all over.